Alrighty, so this is now part 8 of the interview.
Part 8. Holy shit. Yeah, wow, just after the last one, I tell you, yeah, I wasn't expecting it to blow up like that. I mean, holy crap.
I don't think any of us expected that.
No, and for me to all of a sudden get a message out of the blue, Hollywood, what did you do? It's like, what?
Yeah. It was certainly a interesting
Yeah.
response.
And my wife loved what you had said. You cared to repeat that statement about the one particular thing.
The one the response we were given, or I guess if we weren't given it, it was just a response. It mostly just sounded like he read a law book, for
One
time, read it all the way through, and went, "Yep, I understand law. Me understand law. Me lawyer now."
Yeah, and then tries to cover up all of his stuff, but it's like, it's not going to help you. You just make yourself seem more guilty the more you open your mouth.
Yeah, it's funny how there's a reason why officers and the people who crack down on people, they don't say why they're going to be going after them, because they could potentially burn their evidence, and well, he kind of had that reaction now, didn't he?
Yeah, pretty much. To my total shock, because apparently, supposedly he said, "Hey, I'm done with this," and it's like, okay, he's not watching our shit anymore. Guess I was wrong.
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah. So, let's actually get on to somewhat better times and everything.
Yep.
I said that this interview would cover a lot of American Outlaw and some of the residual shit of what happened last time, and hopefully we won't have to bring up a certain someone again. But let's get to it.
Yep. Alright, to kick it off, how did you bring American Outlaw into the Pontiac Duelist League?
Well, we got oh boy. We're going to have to go back, because I got to give you some... what's the word for it? I got to set the stage. KeiyarlaDraga joined the Pontiac Duelist League in 2006 when I was in the high school, everything like that.
Yep.
Corvus had been scouted during the high school time, didn't officially join till 09.
Yep.
KeiyarlaDraga rejoined in 09 when she was illegally removed from the group. Should never have fucking happened.
Yeah.
But came back with Mantis and reformed the Knights of Pontiac. Very successful duelist and everything. She did so well. I got close to KeiyarlaDraga, started dating her. You know the whole thing. It's, out there. Everyone can see it. I fell for her. Love her more than any other woman in the world. And then we get to her family and everything, just being around them. Her dad was a pastor and everything.
Yeah.
He had recovered from a drug addiction. He had Oxycontin addiction, got over it and everything. Had his bouts with diabetes, lost half of his foot because of complications and everything at the time.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, out of the blue, their mom, Amy, got a unprovoked blood clot, and through testing, they discovered that she had cancer, was diagnosed in November 2011. I told you about American Outlaw getting that NWA World Championship belt. Me and Amy came up with the idea for.
Yep.
I paid for the full thing and gave it to him for Christmas 2011. She never reimbursed me the half of the belt, and then you had KeiyarlaDraga winning Extreme Elimination 11 on December 21st, 2011, defeating Savril. Holy shit.
Yeah.
I mean, that was just shocking. The first girl to win an Extreme Elimination, and just the way that she was able to really just take over that duel. And because Savril's no joke.
No, he is not.
No. And then not even like 3 weeks later, KeiyarlaDraga and Corvus's mom died on January 4th. And I don't think any of us were ready for that. Yeah, that really hurt. It still hurts, but Anyway, I'll move on from that just because, it's a little bit difficult. We had a memorial event in the Pontiac Duelist League for Amy on January 8th. Main event was KeiyarlaDraga versus Corvus. KeiyarlaDraga retained the Pontiac Duelist League World Championship.
Yeah.
Had her funeral after that. Then 2 weeks after Amy had died, American Outlaw was found to have gangrene in the stump of his foot. So he had to go to emergency surgery, and they had to take part of his leg almost up to his kneecap. So he's losing half of the bottom part of his leg, maybe a little bit more than half. And then we lost contact with him once they transferred him from the hospital to Alistar, and the nightmare that fucking was.
Yeah.
Which I went through that, and it was bullshit.
Yeah.
Because KeiyarlaDraga freezes up. I tell them, hey, I'm his son-in-law and everything. They won't talk to me. During this time, Corvus had told KeiyarlaDraga to come live with me at the time because, well, things, with their dad gone and their youngest brother gone to live with their aunt and everything, well, he's like, it's probably a good thing that she did because of what happened on the 31st, which, I think talking about it finally, helped a little bit. That Corvus's suicide attempt, that would have been so horrible if she would have actually been there to see that.
Yeah.
When it took place, and his committing, and then, thanks to a family friend of Corvus and everything, was able to find out where American Outlaw was, and found out that he had been transferred from the hospital that he was at to another one to Alistar here in Pontiac. And then we finally found, calling Alistar, hey, is Sean here? Yes. And as soon as we found that out, we went over there. I mean, flew the fuck over there. But how did we bring him in? There's just so much stuff. Him being attached to KeiyarlaDraga like he was, and him wanting to learn how to play the card game, that's what got him introduced to us. And he wanted something to do because he's recovering from losing half a leg. He has to have rehab, learn to walk on a prosthetic foot, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, if you want something to help take your mind off this stuff, then by all means, I'll show you this card game, tell you about the history of the group, etc., etc. But sorry about the long-winded answer to that, but I felt like if anyone's listening to this fresh, they should know, hey, there's a lot of backstory here. And I first started talking to American Outlaw in 2009 when Corvus and KeiyarlaDraga had rejoined the group. And it's like, I would spend time outside after dropping her or him off at the house, like maybe half hour or hour some nights, just talk about the Bible and stuff like that, because him being a pastor, I'd have questions and he would have pretty damn good answers. So,
Fair enough.
There was also that connection as well.
What were your initial thoughts on American Outlaw, wanting to learn the Yu-Gi-Oh! TCG, and what was his first deck?
Well, I'm going to say I actually fucked up in the last interview on one fact, and that's his first deck wasn't that Blue Eyes Light Pulsar Dark Flare deck. It was actually a spare VWXYZ Dragon Catapult Cannon deck that I had. Because I had the deck that I built in tribute to Root Beer Guy, Tiger King, and another player, which was that. Corvus had based his deck off of my deck and their deck, and then I had a spare deck that I was building, which I was kind of trying to remake Tiger King's deck, because I had his deck list. But then when Outlaw wanted to duel, it's like, okay, I got the spare deck, I'll just let him use that instead. And that's actually what he used as his initial first deck, because I had totally forgotten that he had used VWXYZ Dragon Catapult Cannon, and that's how he knocked out Blagana in that extreme elimination.
Okay.
Is that he changed his monster's battle position and banished his face down that he had. And he couldn't do jack shit about it. But, initial thoughts on him wanting to join, it's like, he's 48 years old, he's never played the card game in his entire life. Found out that he had played D&D, so it's like, maybe he will have the capacity for it. And he took to it really quick, which really surprised me, because it's like, you wouldn't think that someone in their first 11 duels would be winning an extreme elimination, but then again, you know, weirder shit has happened, and, well, I was along for the ride.
Yep. What was your reaction to watching American Outlaw's first practice duels against yourself and KeiyarlaDraga?
Surprised that he caught on that quick.
Yeah.
I mean, with as complex as some of the cards are and everything, granted, they're way worse now. Way worse.
Yeah.
But back in the day, you could pretty much pick up a deck and learn it pretty easily. It was just obtaining some of the cards would be a little bit harder. Mm-hmm. But he did so well, and I just had to be, like, in total shock at times, because it's like, did he just win that duel like that?
Yeah.
But it happened, so he knew how to use the deck, but we'll get into reason why he changed the deck a little bit later on, but I was pretty happy with his performance, and yeah.
Why did you invite American Outlaw to join the Pontiac Duelist League?
How could I not, with how he had been doing in those, like, practice duels? I invited him to the Extreme Elimination event and everything. Mm-hmm. And it's like, okay, I got nothing that I can say to justify a reason for him not to be there. He wants to try and learn, so it's like, it's another person.
Yeah.
All right, let's go for it.
What storyline ideas were initially pitched to American Outlaw?
Well, he had found out about our storylines and everything. He liked it. Yeah. And he wanted to do kind of like this Terry Funk character, which, if you know wrestling at all, watch some of his stuff. It's like, it fits so well with him. Mm-hmm. And essentially what we were going to do is recreate the Raven-Terry Funk feud from ECW. Blagano was going to take Raven's character, which he could have done, the whole cult leader thing, with his charisma and everything. He could have pulled it off. Mm-hmm. But it's just the fact that it's like, when I pitched it to Outlaw, he was all for it. When I pitched it to Blagano, he's like, why are you making me do something with this guy? And it's like, dude, it's going to help you. Yeah. Because Outlaw, with his love of wrestling, not so much WWF wrestling, but Georgia Championship Wrestling, the early World Championship Wrestling, Jim Crockett Promotions, the NWA independent promotions back in the day, before, you know, WWF took over the world. Yeah. Like, he saw Dusty Rhodes, Ric Flair, Magnum TA, all those good, not just talkers, but wrestlers. He knew that side of the business. He knew how to cut a good promo. He could have been the perfect guy to play off with, because it's like, I'm an old man, I don't think I have it in me anymore. And then, you know, when he wins, it's just like, holy shit, you did it. And he'd make you want to see him win. Yeah. But that's the idea that I had initially for American Outlaw, but it never happened. Yeah. So, yeah.
What were your thoughts? Oh, actually, what were Executioner's thoughts watching American Outlaw practice duels?
Well, Executioner at the time only lived a couple blocks from Astacare. Mm-hmm. So he could just walk there whenever we were there. One couple of times I asked him to be there. He never dueled against him during this time period, but he got involved, and he's like, this guy got it. Mm-hmm. It's like, we were surprised how well he caught on to that end of things. Yeah. And we just weren't expecting for him to get as involved in the daily operations of PDL and stuff as he later on did. Mm. But the fact that he was as good of a duelist with as little experience as he had, and the fact that he's pretty much legally blind. He's remembering cards pretty much by effect in their pictures at this point. I mean, yeah, I gotta give him all the credit in the world for that. But Executioner was just, he was surprised, and he was like, yeah, we can do something with him. He's got it. Mm-hmm.
What were the results of Extreme Elimination 12 on May 3rd of 2012?
Well, I figured I'd talk about this duel again because American Outlaw's involved in it. Yep. His first official Pontiac Duelist League duel. I cashed in my Money in the Bank contract star duel. Executioner knocked out Ibn Masayo on the 8th turn. Executioner beat me and Amun-Ra on the 13th turn. Executioner beat Mantis on the 13th turn as well, in a separate elimination from the two of us.
Yeah.
Draga defeated Executioner on the 17th turn. Verlupo defeated KeiyarlaDraga on the 21st turn. Verlupo defeated myself on my natural entry on the 23rd turn. American Outlaw defeated Blagana on the 24th turn. And then Verlupo defeated American Outlaw on the 35th turn. But as we would find out a little bit later, there was a major problem with one of the players' decks and everything. But just to recap on, that was Extreme Elimination 12.
Yep. What was Blagana's behavior like at the Extreme Elimination 12 event?
Well, I went over this in the last interview, but he was totally unprofessional at the event, acting like a spoiled child, throwing a hissy fit very publicly, very loudly. And you know things are going bad when you pick someone up in your vehicle and his first words to you are, "I'm winning this duel and I'm fucking quitting."
Yeah.
And it's like, okay. And he did it all to him fucking self. He literally did. Once I got him out of there, I had to apologize to the people at the library and everything, and it's like, I am so sorry. I promise you that'll never happen again. And I gave my word, and it never has. Mm-hmm. And we dealt with that problem as we needed to deal with it. He quit. The problem solved itself.
Yeah.
And anything that he did afterwards, he was no longer a part of our group, so it's irrelevant. Mm-hmm. That was his final showing, and American Outlaw knocked him out, so.
What was Mantis's reaction to Blagana's behavior at the event?
He was really disappointed because he had been friends with him, but apparently, you know, it was a one-sided friendship.
Yeah.
But Outlaw was good at putting it into perspective for him that, hey, it's not your fault. You didn't do any of that stuff. He chose to act like a spoiled little brat. Mm-hmm. It's not your fault.
Yeah.
You're good. And we had to let Mantis know, hey, none of this is going to roll back on you.
Yeah. How did American Outlaw react to the incident with Blagana, and how did it help strengthen PDL?
He rallied the troops. He got everyone to being like, we don't need him. Mm-hmm. It's like, if he's going to do this, this is not the environment we need to be having for our duelists. Mm-hmm. And he was right. Yeah. He was so right. We did not need someone who was pulling all this bullshit behind the scenes, and it was just so unbearable, and I don't need to repeat what I repeated the last time, but Outlaw, I gotta give him all the credit in the world, because he saved our ass. Because I couldn't, you know, I'm not the most articulate man in the world. He was. Mm-hmm. And he was able to get everyone on the right side, on the right track, and then it's like, that's in the past, we're going forward now. Mm-hmm. So that's pretty much what he did, and I can't thank him enough for it.
What did Amun-Ra suggest happen after the Extreme Elimination 12 event?
He wanted just to restart the duel right then and there, and everything, and it's like, no, because those who forget their past are doomed to repeat it. Mm-hmm. It happened.
Yep.
We're going to move on from it, but it happened. But my solution was hold another Extreme Elimination with the people who actually want to fucking be there, who aren't going to cause problems, and we're going to make this something, worth it. Yeah. Worthwhile and worth our time.
Why did you hold an Extreme Elimination 13 just 4 days after the previous Extreme Elimination 12?
Because the other one left such a bad taste in our mouth, and it wasn't right to the people who wanted to show up and play that they had to go through that. So I wanted to show, hey, we're here for you. This isn't going to define us in the future. Mm-hmm. It's in the past. It's done. It's over with. They made their choices.
Yeah.
And we're not going to deal with, people who are acting like children.
Yeah.
You're either going to act like a civilized human being or you don't need to fucking be here. Mm-hmm. And Sean helps so much with, getting that point across in, a much more delicate manner.
Yeah. What were the results of Extreme Elimination 13 on May 7th of 2012?
Starting out, House of Fire, American Outlaw defeated Mantis on the 7th turn. I defeated American Outlaw on the 8th turn. KeiyarlaDraga defeated me on the 15th turn. Executioner defeated KeiyarlaDraga on the 16th turn. Executioner defeated Amun-Ra on the 21st turn. And Executioner defeated American Outlaw when he cashed in his Money in the Bank contract on the 23rd turn before the duel was resolved.
Yep.
This duel, I will say, I did have to light a fire under Executioner's ass because he was holding back in the duel, and I'll never forget chewing him out. And I was like, quit holding the fuck back. I actually said that to him, and then he just tore through everyone else. And the fact that he survived the duel with just 25 frickin' life points left. Think about that. You have 8,000 life points. He won the duel with 25 life points.
Mm-hmm.
He used Solemn Judgment when he had 100 life points and 50 to win the duel. Actually, no. Solemn Judgment and then Return from the DD.
Yeah.
So, it's nuts, but it needed to happen. We had to get him back into that mode because Blagana had fucked with his head to the point where he was so afraid of, him lashing out or striking him or whatever. And the guy was a fucking bully.
Yeah.
Like, he would have done it. When you have an incident where a guy punches a wooden table so hard that his knuckles are bleeding, no.
Yeah.
But getting Executioner back into the mindset that he needed to be, amazing. It was awesome.
Yeah. What was your reaction to Verlupo and Zombie Warrior wanting to rejoin PDL just 2 weeks later?
Well, that was surprising. Because I told Verlupo that I wouldn't hold anything against him.
Mm-hmm.
That I was okay still being his friend and everything after this. But it really surprised me that both of them wanted to continue dueling. But then again, neither of them threw the hissy fit at the event. Verlupo just stayed quiet during the whole time, so it's like, okay, if you want back in, I'm alright with it, as long as everyone else is alright with it, and no one's had anything bad to say about him. Personality-wise, the guy was pretty nice at the time. He was also pretty quiet when Blagana wasn't there, but, his dueling was really good. All of us liked him if you took out that one bad element that he hung around and everything.
Yeah.
Zom Warrior, I don't have a single bad thing to say about him because he was just another guy's punching bag. Yeah. And it's like anything that I said or did or whatever, which I don't think I said much about him because he never did me wrong in any way, shape, or form. He never spoke out against me, never lied about me, nothing. He was always quiet and unfortunately tagged along with people who, only saw him as a verbal punching bag and everything, and
yeah.
But my reaction just shocked that they wanted to come back, but I was willing to let bygones be bygones because they deserved a second chance.
Yeah. What controversy emerged in the following 2 weeks concerning Blagana and Verlupo's decks used at the event?
Blagana had been using a deck that no one had seen, didn't know what any of the cards were in it, refused to let anyone look at the deck before or after the event. So suspicious.
Yeah.
And Verlupo, when he rejoined the Pontiac Duelist League, he came in with a deck, but he had no extra deck because Blagana owned his entire extra deck. And I think, come to think of it, he might have owned some of the cards in his main deck, too. So KeiyarlaDraga literally gutted her Archfiend. I'm trying to think. It was Archfiend and something else that she had. But it was a dark deck. She crippled that fucking deck for Verlupo to be able to play in PDL. And the fact that she didn't have that deck for over a year, and it eventually became a Destiny board deck. But that's the difference with, it's like, okay, we're willing to help you out because we want you to duel. We want to show that we actually appreciate that you're being, but it's like, it threw a lot of shit into chaos because it's like, oh crap, he's playing with the deck that he didn't own. So, problems.
Yeah. What were your thoughts on learning that Zombie Warrior would be moving to Pontiac?
I was shocked that he was actually going to be moving to Pontiac because he lived up in Minnesota. I don't remember what town it was or whatever at the time. But he was going back and forth, to hang out with the other guy. But he's like, no, I'm done with him. Yeah. I just want to be on my own, try and make do with myself. His uncle owned used... not electronics, but it was like used, almost like another pawn shop here in town. It was in the Vermilion Plaza when it was open and everything.
Okay, yeah.
If you remember some of the stores that have came in there and gone since, Kmart closed. But anyway, I was surprised that he was moving to Pontiac, but it's like, hey, I get more access to the guy. I can talk to the guy, see the guy more often, and, pick his brain and all that.
Why did American Outlaw... Oh, sorry. What were your thoughts on American Outlaw being promoted to winner of Extreme Elimination 12?
He was the only one who was playing with a legal fucking deck. You had me, KeiyarlaDraga, and Outlaw, who got knocked out by Verlupo, who was using a deck that was not his property.
Yeah.
So you have a big problem. And it's like, Outlaw, if he wouldn't have made one wrong misplay, he would have won that duel naturally. He would have beaten Verlupo. But instead of banishing the Wicked Avatar, he should have changed it to defense mode, then attacked it. But semantics are whatever. But he was the last one of the three of us to be in that duel, so it's only right. With the next Extreme Elimination having already taken place 4 days after that one, it's like, you were the last person alive in that duel with a legal deck. You deserve to be recognized as champion. And this was 2013 or 14 when that happened. Yeah, I'm trying to remember when exactly. I don't have my notes in front of me like I did last time, but yeah. Might have been 2013.
I would probably put it around 2013.
Yeah, 2013 sounds right. Yeah.
Why did American Outlaw switch to a Dragons Collide structure deck modified with the cards from a Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon 10?
Well, the machine deck, he was alright with playing it, but it's kind of like a piloting issue like you had with one of your decks, the Blue Eyes level deck. It's like, it's a solid deck, but you are not the proper pilot for it.
Yes.
So we switched him to that Dragon deck, and he did so much better with it.
Yeah.
And it's like he's got the support of Blue Eyes, Dragon Master Knight. There's a lot more stuff that he can do with it, and he's able to combo stuff easier than with the machine deck. So it's like, okay, let's switch gears. This'll work better than his other deck.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay. And I believe I ended up getting that machine deck back. He was just like, I know you gave this to me, but you can have it back. Because I got my own deck now, and it's like, I didn't initially want to keep it, but I ended up doing it, and then I ended up giving it to someone else later, and they lost it, so yeah. But it was American Outlaw's physical property, but he just gave it back to me, and it's like, okay. Was not expecting that.
Yeah.
But he really liked how that dragon deck works, so it's like...
Yeah. Why did Savril make an emergency return to Pontiac Duelist League on May 22nd of 2012?
Challenge executioner for the Pontiac Duelist League World Championship since he missed Extreme Elimination 12 and 13, and he definitely did not disappoint in that duel. First duel back, he wins the world title against Executioner. He just fucking bodied the guy. I mean, it was brutal.
Just came back swinging.
Came back, and it's like the dominant run that he had never stopped. It's like, okay, I'm champ now.
Yep. What were your thoughts on PDL World Champion Savril versus Executioner for the World PDL World Championship on June 16th of 2012?
Let me have a look at my records real quick, because June 16th, 2012.
Yep.
Oh, I'm on the wrong title. Fuck.
Yeah, that looks like the hardcore.
That is the hardcore title. I don't have it pulled up. Okay, there it is. Okay, gotta go up a little bit. Okay. Up a little bit more. Okay, Executioner got the win back on that one, surprisingly. But yeah, there was just a little gap in between those two duels and everything, but oh man, it was real exciting watching those two go at it. I mean, even though, you know, the first duel was kind of a blowout, the rematch was way better than the first one. I mean, Several and Executioner, they've had some amazing matches, so yeah. I was really happy with it and proud of them.
Yeah, fair enough. What was the issue that caused your flight to be rescheduled to
Spokane,
Washington, late June 2012?
Okay, so there was a problem where, because we had used either Expedia or a different travel site from back in the day. Anyway, they ended up overbooking the flight out of Bloomington. So it was either, and we had notice of this like a few weeks before it happened, so they gave us the choice of either rescheduling for a month later or paying more to get on another flight of the same day. I chose, hey, because of this discount rate and it's so good, we'll take the month later flight. But thankfully we had enough, you know, knowledge ahead of time that, hey, this is happening. Because originally we would be flying from Bloomington to Colorado out to Spokane. But with the new one, we ended up going from Bloomington to St. Paul, Minnesota to Spokane. So it changed where our layover was going to be going and coming too. So yeah. But yeah, it was just, you know, travel sites and everything. And back in the day, like now they don't have that issue, but back in the day they did have some. And if they offered a deal or whatever, you would have that issue of, hey, we overbooked. And I wanted KeiyarlaDraga to be able to sit with me and everything on the flight because she had never flown before. I thankfully had when I flew out to Juneau, Alaska to see my uncle before I started high school, but yeah.
What were your thoughts on Mantis reforming the Knights of Pontiac with American Outlaw and their win of the PDL World Tag Team Championship on June 26th of 2012?
What the fuck? I was just so shocked at that. I mean, I was stunned that Mantis and Outlaw, who had never teamed together, first duel together, and they win the World Tag titles. It's like, yeah. It's just like, it shouldn't make sense. It's like, I just threw them together, and this should not happen, but they ended up beating Executioner and Amun-Ra, and it's like, wow. Because Ra was doing really good at the time. They ended their 27-day run, but KeiyarlaDraga and Mantis had a run of 50 days before theirs got ended, so it was kind of shocking that they ended up defeating them. Now, their reign only lasted 12 days before Amun-Ra and Executioner beat them back on July 8th and then held it for 122 days. So, but it's like they got the win back, but at the same time, it's like, holy shit, I can't believe this frickin' happened. Surprising is all I could say. I mean, just wow.
What were your thoughts on PDL World Champion Executioner versus KeiyarlaDraga for the PDL World Championship that same day?
I was shocked that KeiyarlaDraga won. Like, how to word this? KeiyarlaDraga, after her mom passed away and everything, she had kind of mentally checked out for a while. Her dueling was top-notch, but you could tell that she wasn't there. Pretty fragile emotionally, and yeah, wasn't there. But I was happy that her duels were just so good. Because it's like, okay, maybe you could focus on this for a while and, you know, take your mind off of, you know, her mom passed away, she almost lost her dad, almost lost her brother, and then her youngest brother goes to live with her aunt. It's like her entire world got turned upside down within the span of about a month, and yeah.
Yeah.
So I was really happy that Draga won that one.
Yeah. What were your thoughts on NW 2.0 National Champion Amon-Ra versus yourself for the title?
Surprised I won. I was really surprised to win that one because Amon-Ra was, as I said, after the whole Extreme Elimination 12 and 13, he was on a hot streak with his Galaxy Eyes, Blue Eyes deck. He was doing really good. I mean, and I cannot give him as a duelist enough credit for being that innovative. As a human being, can't say much about that, but his dueling was always top notch.
What were your thoughts on Zomb Warrior purchasing his deck from Blagana?
Oh boy. This is the one thing that ended up getting a bunch of title reigns
Revoked.
Yeah, revoked on the history and everything, annulled, because it's like he bought the deck, brought it over to Aztecair, so that way we all could duel him. He's dueling me first, because I want to give him a warm-up duel before our title match, because I'm going to defend the NW 2.0 title against him. And then it's like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
Because it's like, where are his Mizukis? Where is his Red Eyes Zombie Dragon? Where's his Ill Blood? Skull Servant, Skull Servant, Skull Servant, King of Skull Servant, normal zombie monster. What the fuck? The sleeves were different, but it's like, okay, he wanted to keep the sleeves that he had. Whatever. That's fine. That's whatever. But we go into the deck. It's got 35 monsters, 15 magic cards, 15 traps, and it has no extra deck.
No extra deck.
Which the extra deck on that thing wasn't that big, but it's... What's wrong with that picture, Alistar?
Oh, boy.
35, 15, and 15. What's wrong with this picture?
You have your 5 extra monster was above the limit. That's
yeah,
65.
it's a 65 card deck. 160 is the legal limit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if he would have done a title match with me and won, he would have been disqualified.
Immediately, yeah.
Yeah, and he was just like, what the hell? I broke open my extra cards, which I almost never do, to try and fix that mess, because I can't put it any other way. That deck that he sold him was a mess. And if he would have only kept his promise that he had made, I am selling you this deck in its entirety like he's supposed to, none of that would have happened. There would have been no suspicion thrown on any of his duels either. On not Zomb Warrior, but Blagana.
Yeah.
But all of the stuff that's happened with us doing our investigation on that previous player has been self-inflicted because he did something really underhanded, shady, you name it, to someone else. And it's like, that deck was, I wish Zomb Warrior would have checked the deck before he was like, here, have your money, take the deck, but hindsight's 20/20, sadly.
You get so excited about a new deck, and
it's like, he's finally getting his deck. He's got the money for it. He's going to be buying his deck. It's not his deck.
Not his deck. What were your thoughts on American Outlaw building a 6 Samurai deck early July 12th?
Early July 2012? He built one, I built one, and Draga built one pretty much all at the same time. There were only slight variations between the three.
That wouldn't surprise me.
I was surprised at him wanting to build a 6 Samurai deck. I built mine straight 6 Samurai.
Okay.
He had some of the Shein cards in his.
Oh, yeah.
Draga was more 6 Samurai, too. Just straight. But it really caught me off guard that it's like he's wanting to expand his portfolio on what decks he can use. Did he ever use it prominently in championship matches? No, but the fact that he was willing to give something else a try, and the fact that it was an actual decent structure deck that was released, well, that was a shock, too.
Yeah. What were your thoughts on the 3-city event held on July 2nd, 2012, with Mantis Verlupo and Zom Warrior winning the Knights of Pontiac Hardcore Championship?
Okay, maybe I should go to that championship then. You said July 2nd, 2012?
Yep.
Okay, so I had the title, vacated it on the 2nd. Mantis got it in Cornell, had it for 6 hours. Verlupo won it in Streator, Illinois, and then he ended up retaining it against Zom Warrior, I think in Pontiac later that day, too. But impressive that they're coming back and they're winning duels, and they have decks that are finally their own property. And the fact that it's like they almost never left and they're doing even better than they had before without this negative influence in their ear. It's like, holy shit, this is how well they should have been doing the first time.
Yeah.
It's like they're not winning the world championship, but they're building their way up to getting to it.
Yeah.
It's like doing it the right way.
What were your thoughts on Executioner and Amun-Ra winning the PDL World Tag Team Champion on July 8th of 2012, defeating American Outlaw and Mantis in their subsequent 122-day reign as champions?
Well, I can't say that I was surprised that they won, because it's like Outlaw and Mantis got lucky. They were a very dominant tag team. I mean, very dominant. They beat Outlaw and Mantis 2 times. They beat Verlupo and Zom Warrior. They beat me and KeiyarlaDraga. And these were multiple title defenses that they had, and they just crushed us.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, there's a little bit of... No, they're just bodying us. Because I've shown you what I turned that Galaxy Eyes deck into. It was a lot more in line with the Light Pulsar Dark Flare Dragon, but combined with Executioner's Samorg deck, or his Blue Eyes deck, oh man, it was just impossible to do anything. But I gotta give them all the credit in the world, because, you know, they did so well.
Yeah.
They were one of the best tag teams we ever had. Unfortunately, there would be issues between Executioner and Amun-Ra, and it was all on Amun-Ra's end, not Executioner's end. But it's just like, wow. I was shocked that they had the title that long, but at the same time, I was kind of proud of them, because it's like, you know what? This kid can, you know, do something.
Yeah. What were your thoughts on Zom Warrior, defeating NW 2.0 national champion Amun-Ra to win the title on July 10th of 2012?
Well, Zom Warrior is working his way up the ladder and everything, so it's like his world championship reign got annulled. But going up the ladder, it's like eventually one day, with how his dueling's getting, and it's getting better and better and better, he'll be able to be put in the main event world champion, world title matches, because he's improving. And even though he doesn't have all the cards that his original deck had, he's got 90% of them now. He's buying stuff, you know, on his own power, and it just keeps getting better and better. So I was really proud that he was able to unseat him, because Amun-Ra was kind of like gatekeeper to the world title at that time. If you could beat Amun-Ra, you could get to the world title. And Amun-Ra at the same time is trying to get to that spot too. So it's like, you know.
Yeah. What were your thoughts on defeating NW 2.0 national champion Zom Warrior to win the title on July 15th of 2012?
I was kind of surprised that I won that one. Because I got a wonky hand, I think. If that's the one I'm thinking of, where I dueled him, and I think I ended up winning by deck out. As I said, it was just a weird duel. I don't remember a whole lot about it, but I believe that's the one where I beat him with deck out.
Yeah.
Which it's like... That's the only thing I can think of, because I think I got Exodius out, and then I just stalled him out. Because, like, we're even, we can't break through each other. I get Exodius, I put everything back in my deck. He's only got Pot of Avarice, and then he can't do it again.
Recover back, yeah.
Yes.
Which, yeah, Exodius is one of those cards that it's really difficult to get past.
Yeah. And he didn't have any piercers at the time, so...
Yep, that'll do it.
Yeah, that'd do it.
That'd do it. What were your thoughts on PDL World Champion KeiyarlaDraga versus NW 2.0 National Champion HollywoodBigBoss on July 23rd, 2012, in Spokane, Washington?
It was a good duel with me and KeiyarlaDraga. As you know, Blagana falsely claimed to have won the world title. He never even dueled for Lupo. I ended up having duels against him on June 28th, 2012. I beat him 4 times in a row. So it's like any claim that he had to that Splinter championship, I think he lost by me dueling and defeating him. And it's like... So it's like... World champion versus NW 2.0 champion. Who's the best? And I'm trying to remember if I won or Draga won that one. I won. So I ended her 27-day reign. It was a good duel, though. I do remember that. It was close. It was not a blowout. It was very close.
Yeah.
She really made me work for that one. But I was very happy with it. And that was also a way for us to more solidify our championship, being like, hey, this guy, if he tries to claim that he was world champion, on my record, I beat him.
Yeah.
He can't make that claim because he didn't get through me, and he didn't legally get through Outlaw. Yeah. So it's like, claim destroyed there.
Yeah. Why did you award the vacant NW 2.0 National Championship to Zom Warrior after the duel?
Because he would be staying with Verlupo in the near future, and they'd be defending the title in Streeter. So it's like, okay, I'll give you the championship. You were one of the last ones to have it. I had an idea for Amon-Ra, so I decided not to give it to him instead. But Verlupo was it was a good choice, because I knew that he wasn't going to, turn tail and run, fuck us over, any of that stuff. I knew I could trust him.
Yep. What were your thoughts on defeating the PDL World Champion?
Defending.
You're
fine.
Defending the PDL World Championship at the casino at
Coeur
d'Alene Casino in Worley, Idaho. That's how you say Worley?
Worley, Idaho. Yep.
Okay, was making sure.
Yeah.
For context, I just got off work, so my brain ain't here.
And you're thinking of one of your friend's last names who, yeah.
Yeah, actually.
It's pronounced the exact same way, so yeah.
Okay. On July 24th of 2012.
Beginning of my fucking losing streak in Idaho, I think to this day, I think I've only won one duel in Idaho. Every time going through it, I've lost either a championship or I've lost the duel where I'm trying to take a championship. My luck in that state fucking sucks. And I cannot catch a fucking win. Like, I win money at that casino, like, not a lot, like $20 or less or whatever. But
I feel like we need to have a PDL event in Idaho just to see if we can get you one win.
Oh, God. Draga, however, her win rate's damn near flawless there, so yeah, I wouldn't want to duel her there.
Oh, fair enough.
But yeah, ouchies.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts on you versus KeiyarlaDraga for the PDL World Championship in Roseland, British Columbia, Canada, on July 26th of 2012?
Well, me and KeiyarlaDraga went up to Canada, had a title match there, and trying to remember who won that one.
Wondering if Canada may have given you better luck.
I did win.
There you go.
I got the win on that one. Draga won in Idaho, but I won in Rossland, British Columbia, Canada.
I'm just laughing.
Yeah.
I'm laughing at the next one down below.
Yeah, you saw the next one. We know what's going to happen. You know it's gonna fucking happen. But yeah, my victory was sadly short-lived. It was nice to have a title match outside the United States and everything.
Yep.
And the nice thing is that on me and KeiyarlaDraga's phone, we actually got a message. Hey, you have no service because you're crossing international boundaries, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, oh, yes, this is so awesome. And then it's like, oh, boy. Yeah, let's go to the... Before we get to the next question, let me explain what he saw and why he's cracking up. Win the world title July 26th, Rosslyn Bridge, Columbia, Canada. Damn, I'm tripping over my words. And then KeiyarlaDraga, July 27th, 2012, beats me in Worley, Idaho. And I do not get the belt back because the rest of our duels are in Idaho. And I keep getting fucking bodied.
Yeah, that's why I was just giggling. Because you got it for one day, and it was the one day you were even in Idaho. You go back and you get bodied.
It's like, I'm done. I'm toast.
That place really is cursed for you.
Yes, it is. I'm willing to admit this.
Oh, Lord, I have... let me get back. All right.
Take a minute. Calm down. Deep breaths. We're good.
What were your thoughts on defeating KeiyarlaDraga in St. Paul, Minnesota, to win the PDL World Championship on July 31st of 2012?
It was during a layover between flights and everything.
Yeah.
It was either a 1 hour 15 minutes, grabbed a little bit of food, dueled. It was a short duel. I mean, I just...
Thank God it wasn't in Idaho.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember what I did, but I one-shotted her. I just, bam, I got her. Like, in that duel.
Were you running your Exodia? Or was it something else this time?
It was my Exodia Harakathy deck, so
okay.
I don't remember if I Exodia'd her or Harakathy'd her. But I know I got her, just one-shotted her.
Yeah, it was either one.
Yeah, I don't remember if I broke her board and then hit her for an attack, or if I, did something else. But either way, I ended up winning the duel, and
why did you give American Outlaw a PDL World Championship duel when you and KeiyarlaDraga returned on August 1st of 2012?
Well, American Outlaw wanted to move closer to his sister, and I wanted to give him one more opportunity because it felt like, he deserved a one-on-one world championship match before he left. He had been making good progress. He was a middle-of-the-road guy. Mm-hmm. He wasn't top of the heap, but it's like, you know what? For everything you've done for me, for the guidance that you gave me when, I was really getting knocked down, and not just guidance, through dueling and everything like that, through bringing me closer to Jesus and everything, because, I am a Christian and everything. And 30-second timeout, Jesus Christ is King. He is God. He is the Son of God. And he is the promise that was given in the Bible from the start of it. So, back to American Outlaw, though. Him bringing me closer to that. And making me understand the Bible more. And it's one of those weird things where it's like, the way I look at it is, I lost my religion, but I found Jesus.
Yeah.
Because when you really look at it, he was not for religion. He was against establishment religions and everything. He was all for your personal connection with God. And that's what he helped me realize. It's about you and God. That's the most important thing.
And that is fair.
And it's like, helping me understand that helped me so much. And I am eternally grateful to American Outlaw for everything that he did for me, for, being a father for KeiyarlaDraga. And he was a man who had been through hell and back with addiction and all that other stuff, losing a leg, losing his wife. And he never let it keep him down. He was always positive. When we had gone up to see Corvus at the time, when he was at the psych ward in Kankakee, he was wanting them to actually treat him for schizophrenia and not just try to say, oh, you're just transgender. Because they were trying to put him on estrogen and all that other shit, and he looked like he had pseudo-Parkinson's. Because you could tell Outlaw, his most important thing was bringing his family back together. He wanted to get Goomba, he wanted to get Corvus back with him. He wanted to bring that part of his family together. He was so appreciative to me for taking care of KeiyarlaDraga. I had his blessing to, be your husband at that point in time. When we actually went out to Spokane, and very few people know this, I actually proposed to KeiyarlaDraga in Spokane, Washington.
Nice.
I actually proposed to her, and it wasn't like I got on my knee or anything like that. We were just laying beside each other after having gone out that day, relaxing in the bed that we had. Nothing, crazy or anything like that. And I pulled out the ring that I'd gotten at Coeur d'Alene and was like, will you marry me? And that's how it was. It was just, it was perfect. But I felt like for everything that American Outlaw had given me, I should give him something back. And it was only right that I gave him that opportunity.
Yeah. Why did you have Amon-Ra face American Outlaw for the PDL World Championship on August 9th of 2012?
Time was running out for us to get the duel in because he would be moving soon and everything. And American Outlaw on the first ended up defeating me. He got control of my Dark Paladin, and with all the dragons he's got me over a barrel. Like, I can't stop him.
Yeah.
Like, I literally cannot stop him. I am dead to fucking rights. But why I had Amon-Ra face him was because I felt Amon-Ra deserved the same opportunity that I'd given Outlaw. Like, he deserved the chance to prove himself that he's bettered himself and everything. And that's part of the reason why I let Verlupa and Zom Warrior have the Intercontinental, because, like, I want to have Ra face American Outlaw. Because that would be something different, something that no one's ever seen. And, it'll be a very different match from what we're used to. I thought it was only fitting for, two of our newest guys to face off before they wouldn't have the chance to do it again.
Yeah, that makes sense. Ooh, excuse me. What were your thoughts on Amon-Ra winning the PDL World Championship from American Outlaw?
I was happy. Because if Outlaw would have won it, it would have been a lot harder with him being on the road and everything to get title matches in. With Amon-Ra winning it, it kept it in Pontiac, and we could have our title matches as scheduled, give people more of an opportunity than if Outlaw had kept the championship. And Outlaw understood that I'm throwing this guy at you because it's like, I want to do the right thing by both of you. Because it's like, I want you to defend the championship. If you have to take it on the road, that's fine. But before you leave, I want you to at least get one in.
Yeah.
Amon-Ra winning was, it was kind of nice that he finally, got the top of the mountain and everything with everything that he had been through. And, and Amon-Ra ended up sliding into the spot of being an executive officer and everything with me, KeiyarlaDraga, and Executioner and PDL at the time. So,
why did you film an NW 2.0 promo with Amon-Ra after his PDL World Championship win?
I wanted to try and establish a character with Amon-Ra and everything. And we weren't really doing a lot of promos during this time because it's like, I want to focus on our dueling. I want to get our dueling up to snuff. And if we film promos, great. If we have people who don't want to do them, that's fine. We will have you somewhere else when we're doing them. Or we'll have you behind the camera where you won't be seen. But I wanted to establish that we had a new champion. And I wanted to get some heat on Amon-Ra as well by having him join NW 2.0. Signal American Outlaw's departure. And the one thing that we did in that video is I had Amon-Ra drop American Outlaw's NWA belt on the ground. Like, and it was on the floor in here, so it wasn't like it was going to break or anything like that. And I tested it with my hardcore belt just to make sure that dropping it, and it wasn't from like, oh, I'm dropping it from above my head, hits the floor.
Yeah.
It was from about like waist height, and it's falling on the strap first. It's not falling plates first.
Yeah, it just made a clunk, and that was about it.
It made a thud, and that was literally it. But it was mainly just a way to get heat, being like, NW 2.0, hey, we're still here, we're still the bad guys. Yeah. We got a new guy, and he's throwing down the Knights of Pontiac's belt. And that's when you actually saw Mantis start to use American Outlaw's NWA belt during his world title runs, with Outlaw's blessing.
Yeah.
Outlaw knew that Mantis was going to do it. We even filmed a few promos of Mantis holding that NWA belt, and Outlaw knew about it the whole time. I had possession of that belt after he had moved out of Astacare and everything, because he's like, hey, I don't want this to get damaged. I don't know how long I'm going to be at each place I'm going to be at.
Yeah.
So until I get settled in, once I get settled in, you can bring it to me.
Yeah.
And that's what I ended up doing in 2015. But for a few years, I had possession of it, even though it's his belt.
Yeah.
And Mantis was allowed to use it for the Knights of Pontiac.
Yeah.
So I figured I'd, give a little bit more detail into that question, because there are a few more, things that off the top of my head when talking about, it's like, oh shit, there's also this too. So,
yeah. What were your thoughts on American Outlaw removing Corvus from the psych ward in Kankakee, Illinois, after he had left Pontiac?
I was actually completely for it, because they weren't fucking treating him. They refused to diagnose him as bipolar schizophrenic. They're like, oh no, you're just transgender, you're a woman, you're Luna. And it's like, no! Fucking no! They didn't want to treat the problem, they wanted to make him into part of an agenda. And it's like, no.
Yeah.
Treat the actual thing that he almost killed himself over. He's hearing voices in his fucking head. Nope, they won't listen. So it's like, you know what? It's better for him to be out of somewhere where they're not going to, properly handle the situation than,
Yeah. What were your thoughts on American Outlaw versus Corvus for the vacant Knights of Pontiac Hardcore Championship on August 17th of 2012?
I can't say I saw the duel. That happened in... It was out of town. I'm trying to remember where it was. Mount Vernon, Illinois. So way down south. He had it for 36 days, and then he ended up getting commended to another psych ward because he flipped the fuck out again.
Yeah.
Which, when he's not on his meds, refusing to take his meds and everything, and it's just like...
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do. And he was committed there for a few years and everything till like 2015. Like late 2014, early 2015 is how long he was, what ballpark would have been committed until.
Yeah.
Because I think he was here January 2015. So it might have been December 2014 when he got, taken out of there. And I think that was in Benton, Illinois. Don't quote me on that, but that's where I think they had him at. Okay.
What were your thoughts on PDL World Champion Amun-Ra versus NW 2.0 National Champion Verlupo on August 28th of 2012?
We actually did promo videos at the time for this duel. It was title for title, but we didn't book it as PDL World Champion versus NW 2.0 Champion. We booked it as PDL World Champion Amun-Ra versus man claiming to be PDL World Champion Verlupo, who had, air quotes, won Extreme Elimination 12, even though he technically didn't. But it was a way to generate heat, and I thought that using this illegitimate claim to the World Championship from Extreme Elimination would be a way to, establish that kind of heat, maybe do something with them as characters, and nothing ever really went from here and everything. The duel was decent. Like, I might even show it to you sometime. Like, the duel by itself was good. It's just...
Yeah.
It never went anywhere, but that was the start of Verlupo's title reign. And yeah, it was decent. Yeah. I mean, I got no complaints about it, but that's what we did situation-wise for, that duel.
Yeah. What were your thoughts on Verlupo's subsequent 74-day PDL World Championship reign and title defenses against Amon-Ra, KeiyarlaDraga, and Zom Warrior?
Amon-Ra was the first 2 title defenses. KeiyarlaDraga title match they had September 10th.
Yep.
And then Zom Warrior was the last title match that he successfully defended the title. Verlupo was a decent champion. I had nothing bad to say about any of his duels. His duels with Amon-Ra were good. His duel with KeiyarlaDraga was tight and it was close. I mean, it wasn't like, oh, I blow you out of the water, I win. Even though he used a deck similar to Blagana's playing style, he used a deck that was legal for play. So it's not you're cheating, he's doing it the right way, and he's winning duels. It's just, he's working for it, but it's genuine work, and that, he's actually earning his shit.
Yeah. What were your thoughts on Zom Warrior's 58-day reign as NW 2.0's national champion beginning October 22nd of 2012?
I was happy for him that he finally got in a run like that and everything with our championship. I mean, it was a long time coming that, and sadly I don't remember what his title matches were. Just because I don't have the records from the Hyperboard anymore. But I just remember that he did really well during his title matches, and I was really happy that it's like, okay, he might get to the world title here soon. He ended up getting the world title match against Verlupo and lost, but I gotta give him credit for holding on to the NW 2.0 title almost 60 days, almost 2 months. He earned it.
What were your thoughts on Mantis and KeiyarlaDraga defeating Executioner and Amon-Ra to win the PDL World Tag Team Championship on November 7th of 2012 and the subsequent aftermath? Ugh.
Okay, Mantis and KeiyarlaDraga winning the World Tag Team titles again. Mantis never underestimate, especially when he's teaming with someone. Yeah. It always gets very interesting when
it's either going to blow up in your face or Mantis's face.
Yeah, but with KeiyarlaDraga there, she's able to tug on the reins a bit more with his dueling, keep him in line. He uses Blaze Phoenix and his Earthbound Immortal very well.
Yeah.
Amon-Ra, I've never told anyone this story, but fuck it, let's go there. After the duel, Amon-Ra blamed Executioner for the loss. He had me go outside of Executioner's house and talk to me because he's like, I don't want to team with him anymore. He won't listen to me. He won't do what I want to do in these duels. I'm like, okay, so what are you wanting to do? And he wanted to team with me instead of Executioner because he's like, you'll help me. You'll actually do what I want to do in these duels. You'll listen to me. And it's like, I didn't like how he was going behind the guy's back and being like,
let's switch
partners. But it's like, they did so well, and then there was one duel where they didn't, and then he's all of a sudden being like, I don't want to team with him anymore. And it's like, It was the start of issues that were going to be happening with him, sadly.
What was the controversy in the PDL World Championship duel between Verlupo and Mantis on November 10th of 2012?
Okay, so I'm going to put a little bit of context there. Blagana, without my knowledge, had been brought to Verlupo's house with Mantis, and the three of them were hanging out together. Verlupo has the duel against Mantis. He beats him. And then after the duel, he's like, I don't want to be world champion anymore. You have it. And it's like, what?
Weird.
And I'm like, okay, so you forfeited the duel? No, I won the duel, but then I gave him the belt. It doesn't work like that. No. Either you forfeit the duel or you're still champion. He did not want the championship, so as far as our records show, he forfeited the duel.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, that's his decision. It's like, you want to take the L, that's fine. But it's like, you win it in a duel, you lose it in a duel. Unless, very extreme extenuating circumstances. Which that was not it. But he won the duel, then forfeited the title, and it started to leave a bad taste in my mouth. It wasn't until later on I found out Blagana was with them, and maybe he influenced the decisions of what was going on there, and maybe started fucking with Mantis's head during this time.
Maybe.
And yeah, I just don't want to go deeper into that subject, which I think I've talked enough about already,
Yep. Why did Mantis use American Outlaw's NWA World Championship belt during his reign as PDL World Champion?
I think I went over this already, but let's go over it one more time. Outlaw left the belt with me when he moved out of Pontiac because he didn't have a exact place where he was going to be going. He had sold his house here.
Yep.
And was going to move down to Southern Illinois, wanted to go back to where he had grown up and everything and all that stuff. So it's like, okay, that's fine. And he's like, and I want you to hang out of the belt for me. It's like, oh, I get it now, because you're not going to be staying in one place. You're not exactly sure where the chips are going to land. Mm-hmm. You know that with me, it'll be kept safe, sound, all that shit. And I actually got American Outlaw's permission for Mantis to use the belt. And I was like, hey, Sean, can Mantis use your belt for his Knights of Pontiac promos? He's like, yeah, of course. He's like, of course. Because he's like, hey, I'm a Knight of Pontiac too, so he can use my belt anytime.
Yep.
It's like, okay.
What were your thoughts on PDL World Tag Team Champion Battle Royale on December 9th of 2012?
Mantis and KeiyarlaDraga took on me and Amon-Ra and Executioner and Verlupo, which was weird for those two to be teamed up. And me and Amon-Ra ended up winning. And we won brutally. Like, we just curb stomped the fuck out of everyone in that duel. Yeah, I can't say much else about that other than it was a blowout.
Yeah.
Like, it was not pretty either. It's just like, Ra got the most amazing hand that you could get in a duel, and I got the most amazing beatdown hand you could get in a duel. And it's like, okay, you guys are in trouble.
Yeah.
It was bad. And not in a bad way, it was bad in a good way. It's like, we just decimated everyone.
Yeah. What were the results of Extreme Elimination 14 on...
Yep, that is right, 14.
Yep, December 9th of 2012.
Alright, this is going to shock you. 4 turns into the duel, KeiyarlaDraga defeats Verlupo via Creator of Light Harakathy to win the PDL World Championship. Back in the day, Harakathy had a slightly different effect.
It wins the match.
It does win the match still, but in order to win the match, you had to attack an attack position monster on your opponent's side of the field.
Oh, yeah.
KeiyarlaDraga would combo Necroid Shaman, destroy an opponent's monster, special summon another monster, and she picks the battle position. He turtled up when she played Creator of Light.
Yeah.
She blows up Verlupo's monster, special summons like Dark Crusader in attack mode, punches it. Duel's over, she wins the world title, and they're like, oh, but we didn't. No, we continue our plays in because we got to determine second and third place. Amon-Ra and Mantis enter the duel right after that. Amon-Ra beats Mantis, Executioner beats Amon-Ra, and Executioner beats me to win the NW 2.0 National Championship. That was the Extreme Elimination where no more than 2 people were in at a time. Because Draga and Verlupo both leave the duel. Draga wins. Amon-Ra versus Mantis. Mantis gets knocked out before the next guy's in. Executioner's in, knocks out Ra the following turn. I'm in against Executioner, and that's it. And Zom Warrior was not present for this event because I think he was in Minnesota and everything. So, yeah.
Fair enough. Why did you choose to unveil the newly acquired AWA World Championship belt to represent the PDL World Championship at the event.
That was before I had modified that belt up there with custom stacked plates and everything, so it was just a plain AWA belt. I painted over the AWA lettering, which it just made it look like it had black banners on the side plates. But I wanted to change from the spinner because it's like the spinner I'll use more as my belt, but I want to have more of a traditional feel to it, I guess, is the word. And why not at that event? It's Extreme Elimination. It's our biggest event at the end of the year.
Yep.
Why the fuck not would I unveil it there?
Yeah, that's right. What were your thoughts on Ibn Masayo returning to the Pontiac Duelist League in late December 2012?
Well, she had been dating Mantis since June or July of 2012. Wanted to get back into dueling. Executioner had gotten a shit ton of the Yu-Gi-Oh! 3D movie Bonds Beyond Time. A shit ton of the packs at Graphalia's Airy in Bloomington before they became Red Raccoon Games and everything.
Yeah.
So we got a crap ton of those packs at discount.
Oh, nice.
I had enough cards with his cards to make her a brand new Malefic deck, and we gave it to her.
Oh, there you go.
And it had the Blue Eyes, Azure Eyes dragon sleeves on it.
Yep.
And it's like, we're going to do this quietly because Amun-Ra knows that Mantis and Ibn Masayo are dating. But we're not sure how Verlupo or Zom Warrior would take that information, and with her being removed from her abusive ex-boyfriend, it's like we're going to only let certain people know for now, but the further in we move, more people will know. And her and Mantis had been talking about moving to Iowa at the time and starting their own group because she was going to be getting a job there, and it was a pretty decent paying job, and Mantis could transfer from the Walmart in Pontiac to the one in Iowa. Yeah. So it's like they both have jobs, they'd both be able to do stuff, and it's like, but I was really glad to have her back, and the environment was way better than her first time around in the Pontiac Duelist League.
What were your thoughts on Pontiac Duelist League event in Gardner, Illinois on December 31st of 2012?
Okay, so we had an event in Gardner, Illinois, night of December 31st, 2012.
Yep.
So not during the day, it was at night, because we were there past midnight when the time changed over. Myself and KeiyarlaDraga defeated Mantis and Ibn Masayo in a tag team duel. World Championship Best of 7 Series Duel 1. KeiyarlaDraga defeated Mantis. And then we had a Fatal 4-Way where KeiyarlaDraga beat Mantis, me, and Ibn Masayo. So it was a really good time that we were able to actually duel at something that we were invited to and everything, because it's like, it's a New Year's party, but at the same time it's like, you know what? Since we're all here, we all got our decks, let's do something with it. And, you know, it was really nice to see that she hadn't really lost a step. It's just, she's dueling against KeiyarlaDraga at her fucking peak, and damn.
Yeah. What was the incident that happened between Blagana, Verlupo, and Zom Warrior on January 18th of 2013?
There was a fight between Zom Warrior and Blagana, and it pretty much, to my knowledge, had ended their relationship permanently.
Yeah.
Like, it was bad. It was not good at all. And I covered the fact that Verlupo, either that night or the night after, called me, had a 2.5-hour phone call, and he just vented on all the shit that he had been doing behind my back.
Yeah.
I don't need to reiterate any of that stuff, but for the premise of this, for Verlupo and Zom Warrior, I thought was the end of them being, you know, together and everything. And yeah, I didn't have much to say about that. I think that pretty much covers that. As far as, you know, I did a better job last time, and this is just to give a little bit of needed context for refresher.
Yeah. What were your thoughts on Amun-Ra telling you he wanted to leave PDL in January 2013?
I was completely blindsided. Totally fucking blindsided. And it's like, I need time to replace you as our executive officer, I asked him to give me a couple months to choose a new replacement. Because I had Mantis or Savril to go off of. And I wanted to see who wanted it more and everything. I let them both know it. But it's like, I need a few months to transition things, get things moved to where they need to be, and then we'll give you a proper send-off, and then you can be, gone from the group however you want to do it. It's, your thing. But it's like, just give me a little bit of time to get, my ducks in a row.
Yep.
Because I also had to make a new charter, and that's when we also started talking about Duelists Sans Frontières, and not just the Pontiac Duelist League by itself anymore, because the Iowa group was going to be happening.
What were your thoughts on KeiyarlaDraga versus Mantis Best of 7 series for the PDL World Championship?
So over the course of 7 weeks, KeiyarlaDraga and Mantis dueled each other for the world title. Draga won 4 duels, Mantis won 3. It was a close series. I mean, it was just one win, one win, one win, one win. And then KeiyarlaDraga finally was able to break the trend of,
back and forth.
Yeah. I was really happy for Mantis, too, because it showed how good he was. So, yeah, I was really happy with his dueling.
Yeah. What were your thoughts on KeiyarlaDraga versus Ibn Masayo Best of 7 series for the PDL World Championship?
Draga won all 4 duels, which it's not for Ibn Masayo dueling bad. It's just KeiyarlaDraga is dueling in her longest reign and her best reign, which was 447 days, and no one could fucking get through her. And Ibn Masayo's deck being a Malefic deck, it did not play well against those heroes. It really did not.
No, yeah, because relying on a field spell that heavily it can get rough.
Now, granted, her deck, I did put fusions in, like Blue Eyes Ultimate and other stuff like that, so that way if you don't have a field spell, you could still use them for that. 5-headed dragon, Blue Eyes Ultimate dragon, but she just got nothing in those duels. I mean, it was brutal. Yeah. It's like... And you could tell she was trying. It's just when she gets a bad hand, it's like there's not a lot you can do.
Yeah, no, that's not a problem with the pilot. That's just a problem with Malefics.
Because I know that Ibn Masayo's an excellent pilot for that deck, but it's like 4 duels in a row and she lost. And they were brutal losses. I taped a couple of them, but they were so one-sided I didn't air them because it's just like, damn.
Yeah. How did Verlupo and Zom Warrior participate in the Pontiac Duelist League during this time?
Well, Zom Warrior, I believe, was at college, so he's up in Minnesota getting that taken care of. He's got a free pass. Verlupo's living out of town and everything. Talk about moving to Pontiac, getting a job here at the Walmart and everything, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Talk about maybe going into the Army and all that. Into the Army in the, near future and all that. So it's like... Okay, we'll use you as whenever you can get here, we'll duel. If you can't, then we'll duel remotely with you guys and then figure it out from there.
Yeah.
But they both kind of started to back off a little bit, but it's like they had like legitimate reasons, in my view, for backing off. Like, I know Zom Warrior was being legit with his stuff. As far as Verlupo, who can say,
Yeah.
But yeah.
Did Amon-Ra miss any PDL events between January 2012 and May 2012?
Yeah, he missed 9 events. And these events that I counted were ones that he deliberately called off, not ones that I waved off. Or not ones that other got waved off. That included our event, which we had talked about, going to Bloomington, going to Grafalia's Airy to get some cards, meet with Savril, all that shit, defend our tag titles, defend KeiyarlaDraga's world title down there, and day of, it's like, okay, you ready to go? Because we would get him right after school, go down, and it's like, no, I don't think I'm going. You've promised me that you will give me a couple months to get shit sorted out here, and you're not helping. You're not contributing. That's all I ask is one day out of the week.
Yeah.
That's all I'm literally asking for. And
how did you acquire the 2013 Yu-Gi-Oh! New Jersey Regional Championship?
well, my regional deck box, the one that doesn't have Draga's name on it, I got it from the guy who actually won the New Jersey Regional Championship. He placed first.
All right.
And after finding out who the person was, because he mails something to me, well, I get your name and address and all that shit. I looked him up online. It's like, oh shit. This is actually the regional winner. So I came up with a idea, and he was willing to agree with it as long as I do not mention his name publicly or anything like that.
Yeah.
So it's like he sold me his regional championship, and we unified it into one of our championships, which was our NW 2.0 championship. And as you can tell, this deck box has been very well used throughout the years to the point where we just were like, fuck it, we're retiring it because it's so beat up.
Yeah.
I mean, but that just goes to show how, how much we duel. It's a lot.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much what happened. Acquired it because I had bought the thing online and then got in contact with the seller. Hey, you actually won the regionals first place. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And then conversation went on from there, and then I agreed to his terms, and then
Yeah. What were your thoughts on Amon-Ra missing the March 19th, 2013 event in Bloomington, Illinois?
second verse same as the first.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm tag team champion with him. You wanted to tag with me. You wanted to team with me. And now I'm stuck in fucking limbo because you won't help me out here. And it was like, at that point I was done with the tag title and everything. If my partner's not going to defend it or show up, it's like, I forfeited the tag title to Savril and Executioner once we got him and once the event started. It's like, he's not here. He's not giving us keeping his end of the deal. I cannot, in my good conscience, keep holding this and say I'm tag team champion when I'm not defending it.
Yeah.
And hold up, let me pull up how long it had been, because it was a good amount of fucking time. Mantis, back to Mantis and KeiyarlaDraga, they had it for 42 days. 90 days. No title defenses. No. It's like, I cannot call myself a champion if I'm not defending this. So I forfeited it. And it's like, you two are the number one contenders. You earned the contendership. It's yours. I forfeit the duel. I don't have a tag team partner.
Yeah. What were your thoughts on the March 19th, 2013 event, which was held in Bloomington with Savril returning?
First duel was the unification duel. NW 2.0 national champion Executioner defeated Yu-Gi-Oh! New Jersey regional champion HollywoodBigBoss. He blew me out of the fucking water, so it's like, hey, you earned it, man. Savril defeated KeiyarlaDraga in a non-title match.
Yep.
Because she was still in a best of 7 series against, I think Ibn Masayo at that point. Because Mantis had his 7, which went through almost all of February, so March would have been Ibn Masayo.
Well, KeiyarlaDraga...
Yeah, that's right, because 7 duels, so first 7 weeks of January, and then 3 in February, and then March 19th, so that, yeah, she would have been in her best of 7 series with Ibn Masayo still. So that's why that duel was non-title, but Savril did defeat her.
Yep.
So that gave him once, because he was still going to college and everything, and he wouldn't be able to regularly attend doing campus security and a few other odd jobs that they had him doing at the campus.
Yeah.
Well, he wouldn't be able to regularly, duel. But it's like, hey, once you are done with this, you got a world title shot. You fucking earned it, man. So whenever you're ready, just say it and you can get your opportunity. So I'm just letting people know that this is a insert because we realized after the taping that we made a bit of a error. March 19th, 2013. I was correct in saying that I forfeited the Pontiac Duelist League World Tag Team Championship to Savril and Executioner because my tag team partner no-showed the event, and I felt it was only right. 90 days without a title defense, we can't call ourselves tag team champions. So we forfeited them, and then after that happened, Savril and Executioner would defend their Pontiac Duelist League World Tag Team Championship against myself and KeiyarlaDraga, and we would get the win, ending their title reign of just 4 hours, and we would hold it for the next 187 days. And yeah, unfortunately, because of my lack of records of some stuff at this time, yeah, it's just, I'm getting stuff mixed up, and I apologize for it, but once I realized the error that I had made, I figured, to make note of it and to insert this little explanation in where I had obviously screwed up at. But yeah, the title changes for March 19th, 2013 were the vacancy, followed by Savril and Executioner holding the World Tag Team Championship for 4 hours. And then myself and KeiyarlaDraga would win the titles, same day, March 19th, 2013, holding them for the next 187 days in Bloomington, Illinois. So let's get back to the program, shall we?
What were your thoughts on Executioner's NW 2.0 National Championship reign of 90 days and 56 days during this time?
So 146 days in total, and it was only separated because of the title unification. Executioner fucking earned it. Like, I couldn't get through him. No one could get through him. I mean, he was unstoppable. Him and KeiyarlaDraga, it was like, they're on a collision course. Eventually, they're going to have to duel.
Yeah.
And something's going to have to give when it happens. But I was really impressed with him at this time. And yeah, I don't have anything bad to say about it.
Yeah. What were your thoughts on unifying the EWG Championship with the Knights of Pontiac Hardcore Championship on April 14th of 2013?
Well,
excuse me.
Ibn Masayo had gotten, as I said in the last part, Blagana dueling with that Dragoonity deck against her and being like, okay, here's the championship, you can have it. They won't give you, she didn't want it.
Yeah.
And she reminded me of that, and it's like, you know what? I own, because of that one thing that we had done, I own the EWG championships. We'll count that as an EWG championship run because he wasn't fucking defending it.
Yeah.
So it's like, we'll have you, because you're back, defend that championship against the Knights of Pontiac Hardcore Championship, and she ended up beating me with her new Malefic deck, and just, yeah. She did really good with it. But I just wanted to put that out there that, hey, that's what that duel was, and it's like, we're recognizing that, yeah, she beat Blagana.
Yeah.
She did. It's just not for the PDL championship because he didn't have it.
What were your thoughts on Mantis establishing the Knights of Iowa on May 10th of 2013 with Ibn Masayo,
Subigo Hakusho,
Ren Hakusho, Kenzu, and Luna?
I was happy that they were able to get a group together. I mean, it's like, that's good.
Yeah.
They're going to have duelists. They're going to be able to do something with them. And once this whole thing gets started, we'll have two territories in Duelists Sans Frontières that can help each other out. But I was really happy that we're only 3 months in and they got a league.
Yep.
So it's like, amen and hallelujah and,
all that.
Yeah.
What was the issue that happened at the May 14th, 2013 Pontiac Duelist League event.
Okay, so this is supposed to be Amon-Ra's final PDL event and everything. We're having extreme elimination, and we're going to send him off the proper way and everything. I am a little bit upset with him not contributing the way he should have. Mm-hmm. I've almost got his replacement locked in, but we're going to send him off the right way.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, I get a call from Verlupo at like 11 a.m. Hey, when are we starting the event? We're here. We're supposed to start at 4 p.m. Well, we're going to be gone by 4 p.m. What?
Oh.
Because Amon-Ra had finals at school that day. Mm-hmm. And I was trying to give enough time for finals to get over, which should have been 2:30. He gets a little bit of wiggle room, and then we start the event at 4 at Mantis's house. Mm-hmm. Because he had a big enough house that all of us could be there.
Yeah.
And I was put in a difficult spot. Either wait till 4, where Verlupo and Zom Warrior won't be there, but he will. Maybe. Or I do it now, and they leave early. And it was a no-win situation, and it sucks to be put in that situation. And looking back on it, maybe someone was responsible for, engineering that situation, but I don't have any evidence to prove it, so I'm just going to leave it out there that,
that
might have been. Maybe I'll be able to shed some light on that in the next week or two.
Yep.
But that was the issue that happened, and it's like, are you fucking kidding me? I didn't have anything ready at 11 a.m. Because it's like, I'm just sitting down to start having lunch.
Yeah.
And it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
We're not supposed to start this thing for 5 more fucking hours. No. And we didn't get started till like 1. But still, it's like, it was exacerbating.
Yeah.
It really was.
What were your thoughts on the triple threat tag team duels starting the event?
Zom Warrior and Verlupo defeated me and KeiyarlaDraga and Mantis and Executioner. That's one hell of a team. Mantis and Executioner.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, it's just like, wow. Yeah.
What were your thoughts? What were the results of Extreme Elimination 15 on May 14th of 2013?
Okay, so the duel starts off. I'm dueling a little bit different. I have put Last Turn in my main deck.
Oh, Lord.
I have, and I put the actual legit Japanese Harakathy in that deck. The actual, the actual Duel Art Campaign card in my main deck.
That is just...
Not the proxy, the main one.
Lord.
And I have this crazy fucking idea that I'm going to destroy Executioner's Dark Simorgh, Monster Reborn it, lock out my opponents, and then last turn.
Last turn it. Okay.
During the course of that duel, I gotta give you some setup here. During the course of that duel, Executioner.
I see his rampage.
Executioner special summon Dark Simorgh. Not once, not twice, not 3 times, not the 3-peat. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 fucking times he special summons Dark Simorgh. He burns all of his special summon cards on it, and he uses its effect successfully 6 times. This is what I'm dealing with to get my win con. I Exodia Verlupo because I get it, and Executioner doesn't have, because we both get out Harakathy and we can't do shit to each other.
Yeah.
I hit Exodia, it's like, sorry Verlupo, you're out. Because Executioner, it's like, I need that fucking bird!
I need that goddamn bird!
Executioner beat Mantis on the 19th turn. Yep. Executioner defeated me on the 20th turn via the regular Simorgh.
Yep.
And I had tripped last turn. So Samorg killed me, and then Executioner beat Zom Warrior on the 20th turn, also via last turn.
Via last turn, yeah.
So I did get to use last turn. Only problem is I had to pick a slightly different monster. Executioner picks his Samorg Bird of Divinity, and Zom Warrior picked Wicked Dreadroot. Executioner attacks my monster with his regular Samorg. My monster dies. He still gets to play his regular turn because I did it during the standby phase of his turn. Main phase, he's got no other cards, but Harakathi's unaffected by last turn. So what happens? Harakathi punches Dreadroot.
Yep.
End phase. Samorg hits me for 1,000, I'm out.
Yep.
Next effect goes off last turn, I'm dead, no other cards are on the field. Executioner has his Harakathi and his Samorg up.
Yep.
So Zom Warrior is out because he has no monster.
Yep.
Then KeiyarlaDraga comes into the duel.
Yeah.
KeiyarlaDraga comes into the duel, and with Amazoness Swordswoman, knocks out Executioner to win the Pontiac... Not win, but retain! Think about this. Retain the Pontiac Duelist League World Championship. Back to fucking back Extreme Eliminations. And on top of that, win the NW 2.0 National Championship and Knights of Pontiac Hardcore Championship all in the same fucking duel. Draga is on fucking fire.
Yep.
And last turn, because of what it did, it wiped out Executioner's hand and field. And he almost misplayed because he didn't send his hand to the graveyard. And they realized, wait, how do you have cards down on the field? I played them for my... You don't have a hand! Last turn, you send all of it! So Draga won.
So Draga won. Conclusion, Draga won.
Yeah. All of that planning, and it did not work. And that's where I decided to do the KISS formula and keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah. Yeah.
Doing the overcomplicated bullshit does not win me the duel.
No. Keeping it consistent and stupid is how you win.
Yes. Just like Russian Badger.
Oh, Lord. Okay, what was the plan after the Extreme Elimination 15 event?
Hold another event so that way Amon-Ra could actually have a proper send-off. I thought it was bullshit that we had to start the thing to begin with early without him.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's one of my biggest regrets, actually. Even though I really have personal problems with the guy, it's like I shouldn't have fucking done that. I should not have started that event early.
Yeah. What were your thoughts on
Cardbox
winning the Knights of Pontiac Hardcore Championship on May 31st of 2013?
He was a longtime online friend, and I wanted to give him an opportunity. He had been a fan of like our PDL videos and everything since like 2010, mid to late 2010. And it's just like, you know what? You're a duelist. You know how to duel. Let's give you a chance.
Yeah.
And he had won the Knights of Pontiac Hardcore Championship. Let me pull it up real quick here. Shit. That's the unification. He won it on May 31st, 2013 in New York, New York.
Oh, nice.
Yes, so a little bit of bragging rights for him there.
Yeah.
His only championship reign, but hey, he earned it, you know.
What were your thoughts? What were your thoughts learning that Vorlupo and Amon-Ra had created new accounts on Blagana's EWG Hyperboard on July 4th of 2013?
Could you have telegraphed it any worse? I mean, seriously. For Vorlupo, he named the account Blanco Negro when he used Blanco, the word for white, Azul or whatever.
Oh, yeah, I can't remember.
Yeah, but either way, he did it just changing the color from white to black.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's like, okay, I know that's fucking you. And then Amon-Ra used the name Baron Nasher, which Nash Pranks was a YouTube channel.
Yes.
That he would watch a lot at Executioners, and it's like, you're calling yourself Baron Nasher. I know it's you.
Yeah.
I didn't confront him with it. I didn't say anything. But it's like, as of July 4th, it's like, okay, something's going on here. They're clearly just stringing me along at this point. Mm-hmm. I got to have a backup plan. And it was so poorly telegraphed that I knew it was going to happen before they even frickin' did it.
Yeah.
And I even talked about how Amon-Ra had forgotten to log out of his Facebook the one time at Executioners, and I saw this picture on his wall of Blagana and Verlupo doing that stupid sideways band hug thing.
Oh.
At Chautauqua Park the day that we did our thing. So it's like, okay, I see what you were doing. You were leaving us to go hang out with him.
Yeah.
So, yeah. It's like, and I promised him that I would try to talk him out of getting back with him because he would only screw him over in the long run. Mm-hmm. And he would not listen to me. And it's like, okay, I can't help you. Mm-hmm. You just keep running back to this toxic person. And it's like, I guess you have to learn to make this mistake on your own.
Yep. What were your thoughts on when Amon-Ra's PDL Hyperboard account was showing IP addresses that were not his?
Well, one morning, I'm on the board just working on it, getting a few things taken care of, and then all of a sudden I notice Amon-Ra's on. I click on his account, and that's not his IP address, because I know I can see all the IPs, because admin logging in, I know that that's, not his address. It's not the same one that's been logged into. I use the IP lookup thing, Streeter, Illinois. Why are you letting Verlupo, who's not an administrator, who's not executive officer, use an account that has admin privileges on my forum?
Yeah.
And then later that day, there was another Pontiac IP address that accessed our forum through his account, and it was not Amon-Ra's. Which, two guesses to who that one was, but it's like, what do you think you're going to find? I don't have a private admin place on my forum. It's just like, it's all public. It's all there. There's nothing new you're going to find.
Yeah.
It's like you're digging for nothing.
Yeah. What were your thoughts on founding Duelists Sans Frontières on July 27th of 2013 in Chicago, Illinois?
Okay, so myself and KeiyarlaDraga went in representing the Pontiac Duelist League. Mantis and Messiah went in representing the Knights of Iowa. And we signed the first Duelists Sans Frontières charter, where we established this is DSF. Executioner physically could not be there, so he signed his part of the thing later that day.
Yep.
But it was the start of, not being just about Pontiac, about being multiple dueling groups working together for the same goal.
Yeah.
But I was really happy that we were finally able to make this thing work, and it's like, okay, we can do this.
Yeah. Who were the original four owners of Duelists Sans Frontières intended to be?
Myself with 55%, American Outlaw 15%, Executioner 15%, and Mantis 15%. So it's not an even ownership split. I have final say of everything.
Yeah.
Just like I've always had. It's like, just because one guy's an executive officer, you're going up against the guy who has 66.7% ownership. You will lose that battle every time. This is even more on the nose, stating, hey, I'm majority owner. However, there was a slight issue. American Outlaw, because of not getting his feet on the ground as quick as he had hoped, and not finding a dueling group or anything like that, made the request of me to put KeiyarlaDraga as owner instead. And because he asked me to do it, I did it. Because it's like, with how much you've helped me, it's only right that when you say, hey, she deserves it more than me, that I give it to her.
Yeah.
You gave your stamp of approval, and you said she will be the one who will speak for me. Mm-hmm. If there's anything I want done,
I will go through her.
I can go through her, mm-hmm. and it's like, I will treat anything you say as if she is saying it to me. Mm-hmm. It's like, your word is as good as her word is, as far as this is concerned. Mm-hmm. She is your advocate on this board. If you want it, we will treat everything that you are saying as her saying it.
Yeah.
And we always did.
What were your thoughts on the duels that took place in Chicago, Illinois that day?
I almost completely fucking forgot about what two of the duels were. Mm-hmm. It wasn't until I got to something that Draga had said offhand when I finally fucking jogged my memory. Mm-hmm. Because I knew the Knights of Iowa Championship, which formerly Knights of Pontiac Championship, I defeated Mantis.
Yep.
Won the title. The second duel was KeiyarlaDraga defeated me and Mantis in a triple threat to defend the world title. And then myself and KeiyarlaDraga took on Mantis and Imbasayo and defeated them in a tag duel. So that was the duels that we had that day. I know that me and Mantis had a really good duel. I do not remember anything about the triple threat or the tag duel. Mm-hmm. I wish I could say, oh yeah, it was this great. I don't remember, sadly. So if I don't remember something, I'm going to be honest with you and tell you, I don't fucking remember. I'm sorry, I can't tell you more than wins and losses. Mm-hmm. I don't. I almost forgot they even fucking happened.
Yeah.
So, I'm sorry. But when I don't have my records to go off of from that hyperboard, and the fact they didn't copy down each event that we had, that's on me. That is totally my fault that happened. But at least we have this.
Yep. What was the incident that happened when you announced that Mantis was now co-owner and executive of Duelists Sans Frontières?
Well, I pretty much made the announcement when we got back to Pontiac that Pontiac Duelist League would now be under the umbrella with the Knights of Iowa and Duelists Sans Frontières. That we made the decision that Mantis will be the new executive officer and co-owner of this group, mm-hmm. with myself, KeiyarlaDraga, and Executioner, mm-hmm. and that Amon-Ra, who had requested his release and everything, be granted it and everything. We don't need him to be an executive anymore. He had missed some events and everything, which I did call him out on, justly or unjustly. I did, mm-hmm. because it's only right that I say, hey, we had to cancel or finagle 9 events. Mm-hmm. Most of them ended up canceled because he wasn't there. But it's like, I'm going to be honest. And he blew up at me not believing that he had missed 9 events. And then off of the hyperboard from our private messages, I copied all the dates of those events that he missed, mm-hmm. after he came back the second time to PDL. And it's like, you missed 9 events. Here's all the dates. Mm-hmm. It's like, I don't say stuff without having the evidence.
Yeah.
But essentially, Verlupo and Amon-Ra spammed my forum with a bunch of garbage posts, and thankfully they couldn't do anything to the rule set or whatever, because I had downgraded Amon-Ra's account to just a standard account. It was no longer an admin, no longer a moderator, nothing.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's fair.
And then I ended up changing the terms of the admin thing, because I had originally copied KapW's thing of moderator, super moderator, all that shit. I changed it to, oh boy, I wonder what you'll think about some of these. Because you have Underboss, Capo Regime, Soldano, and Associate.
So, I love how it's all these weird names and then Associate.
Do you know what those are the terms of?
What?
Soldier. Capo Regime, Captain.
Yeah.
Underboss.
That would be,
You know what those terms are from, right? A very Italian family thing.
Oh, yeah.
And then Sean, American Outlaw, was my consigliere,
Oh.
essentially.
There you go.
He's the guy on the side who, he doesn't officially have power, but he has my ear more so than anything else.
Yep.
And it's like, you're my counselor. You're the one to, if I need advice, you're the one I'm going to. And it was just, it was dumb because they made themselves look so childish. Mm-hmm. Like, I had an anxiety attack that night because I was worried when I shouldn't have been. It's like, we knew this was going to happen. They telegraphed that this was going to happen. I should not be upset about this. And after a day, it's like, you know what? Fuck it. They want to act like children. They can do it on someone else's dime.
Yeah.
They're not going to be doing it on my dime anymore.
That's right. What happened between yourself and Zom Warrior as a result of Verlupo and Amon-Ra leaving PDL?
He just stopped talking to me, stopped responding to my emails, my texts, anything. He never said sorry.
Yeah, you're good.
He never said a negative thing about me. He just got quiet. He didn't talk to me anymore. So I don't really have anything negative to say about him because it's like he chose to be with his friends who unfortunately weren't really his friends. Mm-hmm. And it is what it is, sadly. It's just a shame that, we couldn't have talked out our differences if we did have any, but I don't think we really did. Mm-hmm. It was other people causing problems between us and him, taking the side of his longer-term friends as opposed to,
Yeah.
But who knows? Maybe one day I'll be able to actually ask him about it.
Yeah. Who was the best Pontiac Duelist League world champion?
During this time?
Yeah.
KeiyarlaDraga, 447 days as champion. I mean, who can argue with that? I mean, do you have an argument against that? I mean...
Maybe if it was nowadays, but...
Yeah, maybe if it was nowadays, but no, unfortunately, this is only going up to 2013, so...
I know, I just had to slip that one in.
Yeah, which, you're fine, but, boy.
Who was the best New World Organization world champion?
New World Organization... Oh, shit. It should have been National Champion. Shit.
I was a little weirded out by that one. All right.
Yeah, I fucked up.
That's
okay.
Right. So, who was the best New World Organization national champion?
Probably Executioner. 146 days in that one stretch and everything, with an honorable mention to Zom Warrior, which had 58 days during his run. I mean, I can't give the guy any negative statements on it because he did really well during this time period.
Yeah.
I got to give him all the credit in the world. Holding that championship for almost 2 months, he earned it, but Executioner, he did just a little bit more.
Yeah. Who was the best Pontiac Duelist League tag team champion?
Well, I'd have to say probably Amon-Ra and Executioner with 122 days. That is who I have to go to because their first run was 27 days. Outlaw and Mantis beat them, and then they have a 122-day reign. I mean, I don't think anyone can say that they didn't deserve it.
Yeah.
And Amon-Ra never cheated in his duels, so there's no excuse that I can disqualify him for other than being an asshole.
Yeah. Who was the best Knights of Pontiac hardcore champion?
Okay, this one will be a little bit interesting. I don't know who I should really say should get this. I might have to go with Amon-Ra again.
With the most amount of
40 days? Yeah. I might have to go for him. 40 days? Verlupo had it 43 days, too, so... that's a coin toss between those two. I mean...
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, you have 2 reigns that are that close in length. And just to recap world champions that we had during that time, which we didn't have a whole lot of changes. You have KeiyarlaDraga starting from December 21st, 2011. Has it for 133 days. American Outlaw, May 3rd, 2012. Executioner has it for 15 days. Savril has it 25 days. Executioner has it 10 days. KeiyarlaDraga has it 27 days. I have it 1 day in Spokane. KeiyarlaDraga has it 2 days in Worley, Idaho. I have it 1 day in Rossland, British Columbia, Canada. KeiyarlaDraga has it 4 days in Worley, Idaho. Ouch.
Yes.
I won it in St. Paul, Minnesota for 1 day. American Outlaw gets it for 8 days this time. Amon-Ra, 19 days. Verlupo, 74 days. Mantis, 39 days, his longest reign at the time. And then KeiyarlaDraga, 447 days. Yeah, sometime we're going to have to go in depth on the World and World Tag Team Championship just to, get all the reigns listed and talked about and everything and break it down, But, yeah, I'm really happy with, this time was a lot less stressful, but I think we're going to be going to the last section, are we?
We're wrapping it up with the classic good old report cards.
You could skip me if I'm on it. I don't like grading myself.
Alright,
I'd rather grade other people.
Yeah, fair enough.
Because I'm way harsher a critic on me than a lot of people,
Oh, I'm the same way.
Yeah.
Executioner.
Dueling is an A, solid A.
Yep.
I got nothing to complain about his dueling.
Yep.
Once he got his ass in gear, which it didn't take long after everything was settled.
Yep.
And then personality A.
Yeah. Several.
Didn't really have a lot of contributions here, but dueling's still an A when he's showing up and when he's able to be. Personality A. Yep. Nothing bad to say about him whatsoever.
That's all. Yeah. Mantis.
Dueling's a solid B+. He's getting near A territory finally. He's doing really good. Personality A. I got nothing bad to say about him.
Yeah. KeiyarlaDraga.
Love of my life, so I'm going to be biased.
No bias there.
Dueling, 447 days as world champion, and we're in the start of that right now. So, Dueling A, personality, she's kind of clocked out, unfortunately, because of,
everything
real life. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's as far as me, I'd grade her an A, but, other people, it'd be
more of a B.
Maybe. But it's just she kind of withdrew into herself, so, not going to have that interaction. She'd be a lot more quiet.
Yeah. And, you say you're biased, but even then, her dueling very much showed.
Oh, man. Her dueling showed so much.
I was you can't deny no one can deny the time she had with the belt. So even with you being biased, it's very much true that she was an A.
Yeah, I mean,
oh boy, Blagana.
I'm looking for a miracle man that tells me no lies. I'm looking for a miracle man who's not in disguise. I don't know where he'll come from, and I don't know where he's been. But he's not Billy Sinner. Because he's so obscene, Miracle Man got busted. Cheating in all of his duels, all the stuff that he did. I'm not going to grade him. I refuse to grade him. He's a 0.
Yeah, it's even worse than an F. Z.
Yeah. 0.
Yeah.
Big fat 0. Nothing.
Ibn Masayo.
Well, dueling, I'd say once she got back into it, she was a solid B as a duelist. Personality A. I never had a problem with her. Not once.
Yeah. Zom Warrior.
He was a B that should have been an A.
Yeah.
But it's just because he's not here enough to contribute. And because he had the setback with his deck.
Yeah.
And real life. I can't really fault him for, you know, a lot of those things because it's some stuff out of his control.
Yeah.
Personality, A. I got nothing bad to say about him.
Yeah.
Not a single thing.
Verlupo.
Dueling, might as well... His dueling was really good. Anywhere between low A, high B. But his personality completely negated that. I mean, D, F, he just was very flaky when you weren't someone who he really... And you would try and talk him out of doing things that you know were not the best. Stupid decisions, dumb decisions. And you just can't. And it's like, okay. I can't do it. It's like, you want to do things your way? Yeah.
Amon-Ra.
Dueling is an A. Like, solid A. Like, I cannot say anything negative about his dueling during this time.
Yeah.
His personality, on the other hand, not counting what happened in the future, this is only from the 2012 to 2013 timeline that this captures. The fact that I'm like, hey, can you give me this time? And he completely ghosts me. I gotta give him a D.
Yeah.
Just on this time period, like, and it's so sad because it's like, you know, I really hope that he could overcome. But no.
Yeah. American Outlaw.
God bless him. God rest his soul. Dueling, I'd say B. Like, he could be an A, but a lot of times he would be in the B, you know, territory and everything. Personality, A. There is not a single bad thing I can ever say about him. That man went through hell and back. He was a little bit cooked around the edges, but he didn't let him bring him down. Once again, he helped bring me back to Jesus, back to faith, and everything when there were times where I, you know, kind of wobbled off the rails a bit, and I miss him so much to this day. He was like another father to me. Damn, that still hurts, but... Yeah.
Card box.
I only dueled him the once, sadly. So I can't really...
Grade him on it.
Can't grade him on that. I don't even remember the duel, which is unfortunate. Because I dueled him once. Personality, A. Nothing bad to say about his personality. Always friendly, always nice. Not a single bad thing to say about him as a human being.
And to actually wrap this up, the tag team report cards.
Okay.
Do you want me to skip you?
No.
Alright.
Because it's a tag team. It's not just individual.
So, you and KeiyarlaDraga.
Well, I felt like our dueling was in the B territory, and we're dueling really good. It's just there's a lot of teams that are... They have their shit together better than us. Like, there are a couple times where we have two left feet. But I got no complaints over it because it's like, I know she's doing her best. I know I'm doing my best. We're losing, but I'm still happy with, you know, the duels we're having. So,
Zom Warrior and Verlupo.
B tag team that could have been an A, but they weren't here enough, sadly.
We kind of already went with their personalities.
Yeah, which I covered. Zom Warrior, I got nothing bad to say about him. Verlupo is a different story. But dueling-wise, B is a tag team. They really could have been better. It's just, you know, outside bullshit, you know, hindered it.
KeiyarlaDraga again, and Mantis.
How the fuck does this team work? But it's only gotten better with time. It's only gotten better with time.
It is a phenomenon not even scientists can explain.
I'd give them a B, at least for their tag team dueling, because Mantis is listening to her during the duels. He's actually paying attention. Yeah.
Mantis and American Outlaw.
Once again, the ultimate upset. Tag team dueling B. Once again, they're not a C. Their duels are really good. It's just their opponents are that much
better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Executioner and Amun-Ra.
The closest tag team, I think, up to this point. I would put them just a hair below me in Executioner. That's how good I'd say those two were as a tag team.
That's fair.
As far as their duel. Personality, Amun-Ra sabotaged it.
Yeah.
Instead of sticking with his team, sticking with, what brought him, getting boo-boo face over losing a single duel.
Yep.
It's unnecessary.
Yeah. HollywoodBigBoss and Amun-Ra. Kind of hard to grade.
We only had one tag duel together.
That is true.
That's the problem. It's like we won the tag titles on our first defense, on our first duel, but we never defended them. How? I can't grade us.
Yeah.
I literally cannot give us a grade.
Yeah. Executioner and Savril.
A.
That's fair.
Dueling A. They were damn near unstoppable during this time. World Tag Team. Let me find it on here. How long did they have the tag titles? Oh shit, I screwed up on something. I just realized I fucked up. Savril and Executioner only had the tag titles for 4 hours. Me and KeiyarlaDraga ended up beating them on that same day after they got awarded them. Had them for 187 days, so I would actually say best tag team, probably me and KeiyarlaDraga then.
Yeah.
Wow. I'd totally forgotten about that.
Oh, yeah, I see. Yeah, right there.
Holy shit.
So you guys were actually dueling correctly.
Yeah, we were. So, in light of that evidence, I'd probably give me and KeiyarlaDraga an A for our dueling because 187 days. So I gotta just go back to that and be like, I fucked up. Me and KeiyarlaDraga A, Executioner and Savril. I'd still say A because they were our main opponents during this time.
Yeah. You need a legitimate threat to solidify.
And they brought out the best in us. I don't know how the fuck I screwed that up, but
sometimes you just flip things around and it happens.
Yeah, that is true too.
Yep.
That is true. But yeah, Executioner and Savril's. Oh, you know what I was thinking of?
Probably. Which one?
Okay, the mistake that I was making was that after the event that we had in let me find it here. May 14th, originally, we counted the tag team duel as a tag title duel, but after the thing with Verlupo and Amun-Ra happened, we no longer counted as a tag team title duel. So that's what I was thinking of, and that's why I was like, oh yeah, we didn't have... Yeah, we did. It's just because they were not committed to ever defending the titles again.
Yeah.
Like, I think they went to that, honestly, that last event, well, Verlupo anyway, with the intention of, I'm going to duel in this last event and I'm never going to show up again. So it's like, and honestly, he never did show up again, so it is what it is.
Yep.
But this next interview that I'm going to be doing is going to shock a lot of people. Care to take a guess what's going to happen here? Alistar?
I was like, I know you told me, but I can't remember.
We have a former duelist who wants to talk about his Pontiac Duelist League career, and I'm going to give him the platform to do it. This is someone who, he had toxic people, sadly, in his life, and they're no longer a part of his life, and he wants to, set the record straight on some things in his dueling and all that, so I'm going to give him the platform too.
Yeah.
So the next interview that I personally will be doing will be interviewing Zom Warrior.
Oh, okay.
I will be interviewing him. And we have a bit of a surprise announcement that we will be making in that tool as well. In that video.
Yeah.
The next interview that you'll be doing with me will be talking about KeiyarlaDraga's run as Pontiac Duelist League World Champion and the debut of Jedi Ninja, Burial 117, Magnum TW, as well as Amon-Ra's return to the Pontiac Duelist League. So it's going to be a very interesting interview, and it'll cover a few years once again, but sadly, as I said, I'm missing some records, so I can't give you as much details as I have in the past, but this is the best I can do with the title histories that I have as far as, like, being able to tell people, hey, this is what happened. And, So, Alistar, is there anything you want to say analysis-wise or whatever on this interview?
No, not really. It was a heck of a lot less stressful than the last one.
Oh, yeah. I tell you, this was a cakewalk.
Yes.
Compared to the last one. And no mental breakdowns either. I mean...
Yeah, and not me getting utterly confused by decisions. I don't want to revisit that rant. Alright.
Which rant? Your rant or my rant?
Both. I think that's just a yes in general.
But yours was so eloquently done, though. I mean...
Oh, trust me. Yes, that may have been an elegantly done rant. However, that was because I tried my best to make it elegant. If it was my true rant, we would have been here for hours.
Because you're like, no, this does not make any fucking sense. Why did you do it this way? This breaks the game. This does not balance anything.
Oh, if we were outside, I would probably throw multiple chairs around just because.
There would be chairs being yeeted right and left because of that. And my rant was mainly, look, if you're wanting me to destroy you with facts, here's all the fucking facts in front of you. I'm reading off all the evidence.
Oh, yeah, no.
Yeah, but thank God we don't have to do that shit again.
True. Yeah.
We're through all the bad shit.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, we have just a minor hiccup that happened in Olney, and that's all I consider it. It's a minor hiccup. You have a lot of people who want to act like friggin' children, so they're not a part of the Olney Heritage Group anymore, and rightly so.
Yep.
And Red Mist did exactly what he needed to do to keep everything running smoothly.
Yep.
But, once again, Alistar, thank you for, being here with us and everything. Also, should maybe give a short shout out to Gamersups, even though you probably didn't get that sponsorship and everything. But still, they're a damn good drink. So it's like, let's give them props for, still being a damn good drink.
Not me already buying another set of sour apple.
I'm going to be getting some of the guacamole gamer fart here soon.
Highly recommend.
Highly recommend.
Yep.
Oh, man.
Solid choice.
And let's talk about one last thing. How about the duels that you did with me yesterday, actually?
Yeah.
How you just curb stomped my ass into the ground.
I was like, yeah, how do you like that starving venom?
The battle of the super polymerizations, and I did not have enough.
Yes. Well, no, I'm talking about when I used starving venom to slam into your Dark Paladin.
Oh, yeah, and blow up my entire field.
Blowing up your field after you used a return from the DD.
I was talking about the duel before that where it's super poly. Super poly. Yeah. Oh, you got your super polymerization back. Well, fuck me. I am dead.
Yeah, no, you tried to have a super poly battle with Fallen of Albaz. You weren't gonna win that.
I had to try. I had Alistar the Invoker. You had Alistar the Invoker. Let's do this shit.
Yeah, I was giggling all the way.
Same here. Match. Like, that was so ridiculous. And then we also had the world title match with your B-Troopers against my Fortune Ladies, and, well, my Fortune Ladies didn't quite get the job done.
Yep.
I don't think I even won a single one out of the title matches, did I?
Negative.
No.
Actually, has my B Trooper deck even lost?
I don't think so.
In terms of title matches.
I don't think so, no.
No, because, I got it. I got the title back with a different deck, and then switched to the B Trooper deck, and that's all I've been defending with.
Yeah, and the B Trooper deck is so different, but works so well.
It's so much fun, and it's not like it's even that overpowered either.
No, it's just consistent.
It's just so good. It's so consistent. It just has big beaters. Yes, it may be a link deck, but
none of the shit's even that broken.
No.
It protects itself. That's it.
That's it.
It's like, I just can't interact with your shit.
Yeah.
I gotta punch over it, but it's like...
It is the pure... to me, it is the newest form of what a beatdown deck can be now.
And then you put Uru in the deck to make it even funner.
I love when I bring out Uru for free and just go, alright, I want that monster this turn. Next turn I'm going to have that monster. And there's nothing you can do about it.
And they soak 3k direct damage and their own monster attacking them.
Or, I could just keep continuously boosting Uru thanks to one of the 3k normal effect monsters in the main deck. Because every end phase, just target an insect, it gains 1,000.
Yeah. And then that Blue Eyes duel that I had.
Oh my god, looking back at that duel, I don't know how that Blue Eyes deck was just bricking. Like, my Blue Eyes deck.
Yeah.
Because it's not, like...
My brick 2 out of the 3 times!
Yeah. And then, of course, I'm up against your Merrick deck.
Yeah.
And that is not the deck you want to brick against, because at least 50% of the time you get an OTK hand of some kind. And I'm just like, well, I guess I die now. Great. Fun play. Yeah.
But if I don't get the OTK hand, then, well, it's
just downhill.
Unless I can manage to make a comeback out of it. Which,
or you accidentally give me Blue Eyes Chaos Max.
That too. Yes, I did. That was my own fault for doing it. Then again, you did it to me too, so...
True. And
I didn't even want Chaos Max. I wanted Blue Eyes to summon alternative, but it's like, Chaos Max. Okay, this works too.
This is what Fuck it. No, I still giggle at the fact that I was so worried about Phoenix Mode's effect, but you legit did not have the life points. And when I realized that, I went, oh, okay, this makes it way easier. Chaos Max.
It's like, yeah, I can't punch through that. I don't have enough power to punch through that.
And then you're just dead. It didn't matter if you were in defense mode or attack mode. You were just
If
dead.
I would not have played that other monster, I would have been fine. But playing Hell Poemer was a bad decision. Because if I would have just kept Sphere Mode on the field, you couldn't attack it, I would have been fine. Nope, my dumbass, I can win this duel this turn. I summon Hell Poemer, I attack, then I attack with this. No. I forgot I was playing against you.
Yeah.
Oh, one moment.
Yeah.
All right, we're back on our little mini rant that we're having at the end of this one.
Lord, yeah.
But I cannot stress also how important American Outlaw was to keeping PDL alive at this point in time. Yeah. Like, we would not have a group if it was not for him.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah, it's just funny that whenever I veer away from, like, God and everything, shit goes wrong in my life, but once I come back to him, it's like, okay, now stuff's right. It's everything as it should be. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of people who I talk about with off camera about, Christ in the Bible and everything, but that's their thing. Yeah. If they want to have that conversation with me, fine. But I'm just putting it out there that you can have that conversation with me. I'm willing to have that conversation. Mm. But Outlaw, he was so important to keeping this together, to making DSF and PDL work, but you needed the context of everything else that happened and some of the other stuff that was like, oh, I'll never talk about this again. shit, I have to talk about this again because Outlaw's involved with it and give perspective for him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But he was such a good duelist, and for the short amount of time that he's in this group, because he debuts in May, and he's gone by August.
August, yeah.
So May, June, July, August. 4 months he's in, and he did all of that.
Yeah.
I mean, just 4 months. And the Impact 2 world title reigns, a world tag reign,
yeah,
NW 2.0 reign, hardcore reigns.
Yeah.
I mean, he did it all. And then later on we'll talk about how he started his own group in Olney. If you've seen the Red Mist interviews, those are pretty interesting. The second one we kind of did still in character and storyline and everything because, NW 2.0 and everything. But the third one and the first one are out of character and, they give you a good idea of what's going on. But if you want to just see us fooling around and, giving a little bit of context within the storyline, then the second interview is definitely for you. But, once again, Alistar, thank you so much.
Yep.
Let's toss around a couple ideas, though, for maybe future non-DSF interviews that we could possibly do. Because
DSF.
maybe talk about video games sometime.
Oh, yeah, maybe. Yeah, I guess if we want to step away from just talking about like Yu-Gi-Oh! And dueling, I know me and you have very different opinions on Star Wars, which could be interesting.
Yes, very.
Because you are a big Emperor Palpatine fan, I'm a big Mace Windu fan, and I know we've had very not disrespectful arguments, but still arguments about
very interesting arguments because I'm of the mindset there's no way Mace could have fucking beat Palpatine. He threw the duel because he was in he's never not in control of a situation if you look at episodes 1 through 6. Which 7, 8, 9 I don't even consider because
we both agree those are just trash.
Disney fucked up on those.
Those are so bad.
With the original 6, if you look at Palpatine, the original trilogy all the way through 6, he is in complete fucking control.
Yeah. And
you think my observation on that is he would not lose the duel because he knows that Anakin's going to kill Mace.
Up here. And my opinion is that he let his guard down during that duel, thinking Anakin was going to be there, but he underestimated Mace, and Vapad was making him go to the back foot, but he kept the idea of Anakin will be there coming to save him, and that's what happened.
So yeah, some of these things that we could do in the future would be real interesting. Maybe doing one on, like, Master Duel and its meta or whatever sometime, too.
Yeah, and
discussing that.
Talking more about Yu-Gi-Oh! Archetypes, Yu-Gi-Oh!
Or past Yu-Gi-Oh! Games like Forbidden Memories, Duelists of Roses, which you've never played before.
I've never played before.
Oh my god, once you get into Forbidden Memories, it is the ultimate RNG nightmare.
I was like, I remember you guys playing it when I first joined, but I think you guys did like one game and that was it.
And then you have Duelists of Roses, which is Yu-Gi-Oh! On a chessboard.
Yes.
Which is even more interesting. But Forbidden Memories, I'll send you that video again because the first world records with that game, the first place was 12 hours, the second place was 21, and then the other 3 didn't even place because the third place guy tapped out at over 30 hours. It is the ultimate random number generator hell.
Hell, yeah.
It is terrible how they did that. And there's 36 cards in that game that you cannot obtain in the American version. You cannot get Exodia. You cannot get any of the ritual monsters. Blue Eyes Ultimate is inaccessible.
That's funny. But
the only way to do it is mods.
Yeah.
Or to use a Game Shark to get the cards.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, well, you can't legally obtain them in the game.
Yeah.
Because we never got the Pocket Station for the PS1, so guess what? No Pocket Station, and they even removed the support without putting the cards back in the game!
Yep. Yep.
Oh, and imagine this for a duel, okay? You start your duel, you have your 5 cards and everything. I'm the final boss of the game. I draw 20 cards for my opening hand.
Yep. Oh, Lord.
It's terrible. They
Yeah.
can Exodia you turn 1.
Turn 1, yeah. Yeah, and there's that. We can... I guess if you really want to sit through me ranting about Duel Links back when I...
Sure!
Oh, Lord. That was certainly...
Because you did do a lot of Duel Links back in the day.
I did. If I remember correctly, the highest I got was Platinum in Duel Links and in Master Duel. Funny enough, I've gotten into Platinum in both games.
I need to get into Platinum in Master Duel.
I did it when Master Duel first released, with the meta changing.
It's Tellerman and Shizu right now.
Yeah, and that's my problem, is Tellerman and Shizu.
It's a little bit too busted.
Yeah, and I'm almost afraid of when the next meta deck comes out, which is already plaguing TCG OCG, which is the 10 card Zone Lock deck.
Oh, God.
Yeah, have you heard about the new archetype that is literally just doing what Ojamas were doing, but even better and on a turbo?
We might have to ban some shit.
Yeah, I'll send you a video of how they work, and it is absolutely disgusting.
Yeah, because we're not trying... Like, we're trying to play the game in a bit more fast and fun format. We're not trying to make it so that way people can't fucking play the game.
Yeah, no, you literally cannot play the game. And
yeah.
There's just nothing you can do.
And then who knows, maybe we'll do an interview about, you know, different music that we like and everything, because
that'd be interesting.
It'd be interesting to see what you would say versus your music collection versus my music collection, which is, you know...
You have a much more physical library, while I have more of a digital library.
I have 230-something gigs of music on my computer.
I don't have that many, mostly because I use YouTube. And I also like YouTube's... I like indie creators.
Yeah. I get you.
So, that's the biggest thing. But we should probably wrap this up.
Yeah, we probably should. I'm just doing a quick count here now on my computer because you got me curious.
Yep.
I'm at over 156 gigs right now. Oh, boy.
You already hit 1 terabyte. Congratulations. I think that's 1 terabyte.
No.
No, 1 terabyte's 1,000 gigabytes.
Yeah.
Right, I forgot it's...
252 gigabytes of music on my computer. Holy shit.
You, sir, have way too much music. But
I love listening to a lot of music.
Hey, I can't even blame you.
Yeah.
All right.
But anyway, we gotta let this go because, you know, we've gotten off the track of talking about this. But you know what? It's fine.
At this point, it's just stream of consciousness.
Yeah. It's like, you know what? We gotta be ourselves for once in this. So, you know.
Why not?
It's just why not. So, we'll catch you on the next interview.
Yep.
Me interviewing Zom Warrior, and then next interview with me and Alistar, we'll be talking about the KeiyarlaDraga's Reign of Terror.
Yep.
And the debut of Jedi Ninja, Burial 117, Magnum TW, and Amun-Ra's return. So,
yep.
Everyone take care, God bless, and stay safe, okay?